Brooklyn Independent Television.
Slave, that's my name. No longer Margaret Baker. Got my masses, baby, in my arms.
So you get used to what it sounds like, just spread out a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't get up on top of the platform. Yeah, but you can put a chair where you want it so you can get some height. These wooden chairs should be good.
You can stand on those platforms.
Oh, okay, those two are okay. Yeah, what's got for the instruments? Which one, that one or that one? The tall one. Could we try James Hamlet? So this is a guy who was, he was born free, but his grandmother had his papers, and he didn't have them, they were lost. She lost the papers, so he gets picked up. So this is his story. Eventually they raise money to get him back again. They arrest him, they nab him on the street and send him to Maryland. Yes. It's called Color Between the Lines, and it is the theater aspect or component of a much larger project that's going to be taking place over the next year or so, which involves three cultural institutions in Brooklyn: the Brooklyn Historical Society, the Weeksville Foundation, and Irondale.
He was a free man of color. I said he was a free man of color.
It's about black and white abolitionists during the 1850s, and a little bit before that and after that, working together or trying to work together to end slavery, to abolish slavery. And then the question comes in, so what after the abolishment of slavery? What then?
Well, Mr. Hamlet, you are a witness in a criminal case. We need you to come with us. They took poor James to Water Street and they arrested him. There was no criminal case, but there was Mr. Hamlet's race.
We were given the research first. And so you go home, you study the research, but then, oh my gosh, that's someone's story hits you in your gut, and then you just want to write.
Mr. Officer, why are you holding me? What are my charges? Explain so I can see.
And you just have this impulse to write about it. And that's where all of these pieces have stemmed from.
You are a runaway slave from Baltimore. We intend to return you to Mrs. Mary Brown.
And part of the reason why we're doing it in almost an entirely musical way is because a lot of times you have this kind of material, it could be very bookish, or a museum piece, so we really wanted to move away from that. So it's not like, here is this abolitionist and here's a bunch of facts about them. We wanted to make it a little more theatrical, a little more interesting.
Say, taking the dust off.
I think it's a very unique way of approaching a dramatic evening that somebody today called it contra theater, because it's not naturalistic, it's truthful, but there are not scenes that happen with chairs and tables and all the real cinematic realism, but it goes to using primarily music. The piece is about 95% sung.
He's a long gone. He's a long gone.
Well, 2-3 minutes, I'll catch my wind. In 2-3 minutes, I'm gone again. Well, my John said just before he did.
The company has been devising all these different musical pieces, using what we call pads. So what that is we take a bit of information to text that we read and discuss beforehand. Then we create an improvised musical accompaniment with the entire ensemble. So everyone's adding either a vocal trait, or they're adding an instrument, or they're adding percussive something to create a feel and style and sound for these different pads. And on top of those pads, we have this improvised singing. So it never goes fully into a musical land. nor does it ever sit in a very scenic text-based land.
Right. So to say what makes this play different than seeing any other play is that you can walk in and really not get, this is the beginning, middle, and end of the Brooklyn abolitionist movement.
I've been sent to retrieve you, and I'll get a healthy price from Mr. Baker and his wife. No, I'm free now. They let me go years ago. No, don't touch my children.
I was reading about how her and her children were kidnapped from the Brooklyn almshouse, and it just brought me to tears.
I ain't never going back. Babies screaming, children screaming. Please, fell on deaf ears.
And I wrote a poem about it, brought it into the rehearsal, and I was like, hey, you guys, this person's story really impacted me. Can I share it with you? It was kind of like my therapy.
Heavy load, heavy load, heavy load. No, this ain't my home. No. Tending, shucking, cleaning.
I just really wanted to get it out and for somebody to hear my thoughts on it. And then it came from a poem to one song to another song. Right. Katrina helped me develop it, and now it's in the show.
Tell them I love them. I didn't get to say that when they were ripped from my arms. Tending, shucking, cleaning. Thank you.
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at bricartsmedia.org/BIT.